is a sub-13:10 man. Waku Bikila of Ethiopia has a personal best right down there at 13:06. And Haile Gebrselassie, the reigning world champion at 10,000 meters, the silver medalist at 5,000 meters. There's Gebrselassie to the left, 3:37. Powerfully built little man. Still a long way from his best. He's only 21 years old, the Ethiopian policeman, and looking very, very relaxed and comfortable there as he stands in the drizzle, waiting for the start of this 5,000. 12.5 laps of the track, of course. I'm going to chat there with Waku Bikila, his teammate beside him. Well, a staggered start there, hardly necessary with this number of men. There's only some 15 or 17 of them. The two Ethiopians there on the outside just to keep them out of trouble. Two pacemakers, as we understand it, in this event, so obviously they're looking for a fairly fast pace. Ethiopians in blue, moving through into second and third now behind that first pacemaker. That's Waku Bikila in second place, who I have a sneaking suspicion will be doing some pacemaking for Gebrselassie here. Haile Gebrselassie raced recently on the 28th of May in a 1,500 meters, where he was beaten by his compatriot Baisa over 1,500 meters. They both run 3:41, which isn't too bad for a 10,000 meter runner. Gebrselassie came third in the World Cross Country Championships back in March in Budapest, so he obviously wintered very well indeed. And this pace is fast. They've gone through 400 meters there in around 62 seconds. And this group of 6 has broken away very quickly indeed. I'm not surprised. 64 seconds per lap is 13:20 pace. And from there on downwards, you're talking world-class running. Anything in the teens is very, very fast indeed. But the Africans nowadays beginning to make the sub-13:10 territory look fairly common. Thomas Osano in fourth place at the moment, the Kenyan. 24 years old today, Osano. His best is only 13:28, but it was during a 10,000 meters. Based in Japan, Osano. He's in fourth place at the moment. .420 leading, that's Greg van Heist of Holland, who is a pacemaker. Bikila in second there. Gebrselassie in third, just chopping his stride there. Very, very bouncy, towy runner. And these 6 opened a very, very big lead indeed. Well, look at the clock. They're coming down now as they pass through the finish line. They'll have done 2.5 laps. That's 1,000 meters. 2:40 would be 13:20 pace. They're going to be way, way inside that. 2:36 exactly at 1 kilometer. Well, if they can maintain this, we're on to something very special indeed. Gebrselassie, certainly the favourite here. Only beaten by that incredible run by the 18-year-old Ismail Kirui in Stuttgart last year. Kirui running 13:02 to take the world 5,000 title. Gebrselassie ran 13:03 for the silver medal. But he won the 10,000 meters in Stuttgart to turn the tide on the Kenyans. Moses Tanui not too impressed with what happened at the bell in that 10,000. You may remember he was leading, approaching the bell. Gebrselassie was behind him. Tanui beckoned him again and again to take the lead and help with the pacemaking duties. Gebrselassie there in blue refused to contribute to the pace of the race. And at the bell, unfortunately, Gebrselassie went into the back of Tanui and took his shoe off. And together they ran a 55-56 second final lap, with Gebrselassie coming out the best of it. A 55-second lap exactly he won his world 10,000 meter title with. Heike Drexler in the long jump, 6:41, her best so far. And she's not enjoying these conditions either. .29 years old now, Drexler. Been around a long, long time. Reigning world champion, of course, she won in Stuttgart with 7 meters 11. Great sprinting speed there from Drexler, but again, looking to be lacking the lift there. And I think the combination of that runway not giving them any payback, so to speak, from the drive to try and convert the horizontal speed into vertical lift. That's what's so difficult. And also caution as they get to the board. Yeah, Drexler staying low there. Of course, the world rankings at the moment, led by that incredible long jump of Jackie Joyner-Kersee in New York, when she left the second furthest ever jump seen by a woman. It was a new American record, 7:49. That's the target for Drexler this year, and it won't be easy. So 3:43. This is Josphat Machuka, 20-year-old Kenyan. Only has a best of 13:28 and at 10,000, 27:57, but he's not in bad shape. Last week he ran the 13:33 in that Arnsberg meeting, same meeting in which Barman did 7:49. And perhaps Machuka just not pushing it on hard enough here for Gebrselassie, who's taken the lead. Just gone through 2,000 metres. So Gebrselassie pushing on here. Bikila trying to stay with him, but the gap's opening now. And obviously the little Ethiopian not prepared to sit around and make a race of it with the others. He's going to run to his full potential. Look at that, moves wide, glances across, says, come on Waku, help me out, help me out. That's what we need to share this pace, let's push it along. And Bikila does it just right, eases through on the inside. Gebrselassie slots in behind him. If it was a triathlon cycling event, you'd be disqualified for wind assistance, but doesn't happen on the track. As we said, that these conditions look pretty miserable for the sprinters in the field events. They're just about perfect for distance running. No wind at all, a bit of drizzle, not too cold. It's around 12, 13 degrees, and Gebrselassie takes the lead again. Well, he's obviously feeling pretty buoyant. In third place at the moment, 3:42 there. That's Osano. No wonder he's struggling with his pace, because they are shifting. They'll come round to, the next time they come through the finish line, it'll be 3,000 metres, and it's going to be something like 7:51, 7:52. He's pouring on the pace now, Gebrselassie. Bikila going with him. He's well capable of going with this pace with 13:06 personal best. He, in fact, finished fourth in that World Championships last year in the 5,000 metres. Finished sixth in the Olympic Games, Bikila, so he's very experienced. There's Yotterman, agent to Gebrselassie, and indeed, we understand, coach to Gebrselassie. In fact, the Ethiopian policeman lives in Holland during the summer months. He rents an apartment with his older brother, Tekaye, who we understand wants political asylum in Holland, trying to earn a living racing in the Low Countries. But the two of them live and train together in the south of Holland, near Nijmegen. 3,000 metres, there it is, 7:50.86. Well, that is very fast indeed. It could be on for something approaching the world record here. Take a look at what Dave Moorcroft went through 3,000 metres in. It was exactly 7:50 when he broke the world record all of 12 years ago in 1982 in Oslo. Moorcroft passed through 3,000 in 7:50. His world record, almost 13 minutes exactly, just outside 13 minutes. Saida Wita, when he broke the world record and set the current world record indeed in Rome in 1987, went through 3,000 metres in 7:46. Bikila now helping Gebrselassie again here. This is just what happened to Awita in Rome. He had help right up to 3,500, 4,000 metres in Rome. 3:71. This little athlete not even on our start list. I think it might be Hassan Flora, but they're in a separate race altogether to these two. 8:54, well, about a 64-second lap there. They've had a bit of a rest, but you can see Gebrselassie so bouncy and keen to push this pace on, almost running into the back of Bikila there. 64 seconds per lap, way, way too slow for me at the moment. Please push it along, he says to Bikila. 3:32 here, leading the chasers. fast start list either, can you believe? But those men travelling at around 13:25, 13:30 pace. These men travelling at something like 13-minute pace at the moment. Bekele looks very relaxed too, doesn't he, in front there? The extra work these two are putting in with all this chopping and changing at the front, I can't believe. But Gebrselassie keeps passing Bekele. I'm sure Bekele running as hard as he can for his teammate there. Indeed, the pair of them looking for fast times. But this is marvellous running. Fastest time in the world this year so far is, well, it's 13:24 at the moment, but it's not going to last much longer than another 3 minutes. That was like Peter O'Donoghue of Australia down in Australia back in February. Carl Lewis being presented to the crowd there after that relay, but that's bad timing. It detracts from this race, and I just don't think anybody in the stadium is really aware of how fast these men are running. They are just about on world record pace. Gebrselassie beginning to work a little bit now. That's the first time I've seen a grimace on his face. He's only got a kilometre to go. There's Hermans giving him all the information he needs, telling him what lap times he needs. Gebrselassie hears it and responds, and he accelerates, and the gap appears for the first time between these two. Just over 2 laps to go now as he looks down the straight. Marvellous running by Gebrselassie. He needs this sort of a race, Gebrselassie. Doesn't have the sprint speed of some of the men around. He is a great sprinter at the finish of races, but he was shown a clean pair of heels by William Stigay in the World Cross Country Championships in Budapest. Stigay powered away from him in the final 100 metres in Hungary. Nobody's going to do that here today because it's been hard and fast from the start. And Gebrselassie is pulling away from Bekele, who is still running strongly. But look at this down the back straight, just over 600 metres to run. And Gebrselassie still grimacing, looking down at the ground, pigeon-chested, pushing hard. There it is. Eamon Martin disqualified in a race at Crystal Palace, indeed a 5,000-metre race at Crystal Palace 2 or 3 years ago, for his coach on the inside encouraging him. Well, on the continent they regard it as the norm, and really British officials need to take a look at that and think, is it really affecting the race? Gebrselassie then, with a lap to go in this 5,000 metres. He's on world record schedule. Watch the clock as he passes through with 1 lap to go. 11:59, perhaps just inside 11:59. Saïd Aouita's reigning world record under serious threat here. Aouita in Rome in 1987 had assistance for most of the race. His winning time in Rome, 12:58.39. Those are the figures that Gebrselassie is driving for here. Rico of Mexico, another fast marathon runner, moves out of the way as he is lapped with 200 metres to run. Bekele a long way back now. The crowd at last sensing the world record is on. Gebrselassie, has he got the sprint speed to produce what's required in this final 200 metres? Aouita in his final lap in his world record run 57.4. I don't think Gebrselassie is going at that speed, but remember, he only needed something around 59 at the bell. He's driving down the home straight now. 40, 30, 20 metres to go. Gebrselassie takes the world record. He smashed it. 12:56.95 by the Ethiopian. And it's goodbye the era of Saïd Aouita over 5,000 metres. Hermans punches the air. And that is no more than the man deserves. He's put on a great meeting here. He manages and coaches that athlete. And there can be no greater acclaim for a coach and manager than when one of your athletes breaks a world record in a meeting that you're promoting. That is marvellous to see, as the Ethiopians at last rival the Kenyans in middle and long distance running. Saïd Aouita's world record of Rome has stood for 7 years. And Gebrselassie is full of running still, look, just some 30 seconds after crossing the line and running 12:56. Well, the Ethiopian flag held aloft there. Looks like quite a few Ethiopians in the crowd to celebrate this with Hermans and his athletes. 12:56.96, the new world record. Saïd Aouita's world record of 1987 smashed there by around a second and a half. 12:58.39 were Saïd Aouita's old figures. Bekele Well, we forgot all about him in the last couple of laps. He did so much contribute towards that world record. His time, 13:10.33, but he was all of 60 metres behind this man. Haile Gebrselassie, what more can he do? He's only 21 years old, remember. World Junior Champion of the 5,000 and 10,000 back in 1992 in Seoul. Last year, he became World 10,000 metres champion at senior level, and now he's the world record holder over 12.5 laps. And he knew it.